Hey loves, it's Amber and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome, and happy new year. I hope that you are having a good 2025 so far. I am posting this video on New Year, so this will be my first video of the new year. Wanted to bring it in good and have some content out for everyone. So this is the second part of my creating holidays as Sims, and we're going to be doing the last 3 holidays of the year. So our first sim is going to be our spooky day / Halloween sim. Also, just a heads up, I am recording this on the evening of New Year's Eve, so there are definitely fireworks going off in the background. I'm not sure if the microphone is picking it up, so if it's not, then good, and if it is, well, it's just gonna have to add to the festive spirit because the fireworks will be going for quite some time. My neighbors tend to pop fireworks for hours and hours around holidays like 4th of July and New Year's and Christmas. Sometimes they've actually been popping them for like a week. So it's going to be a loud night here for us. But anyways, for our first sim, this is Salem. And I really liked the sim that randomized in. I thought they were a really good base. So I really didn't make a lot of changes to them. I thought they had a pretty unique look. And I just kind of wanted to stick with that. They also randomized in with this hair, which I don't think I've used. It's one of like the short hairs from Love Struck. I love like the cuts in the side, like those lines. I think it looks really crisp, really clean. And the hairline on this isn't terrible. I find that some of the recent like masculine frame hairs especially have had some of the most heinous hairlines. So I haven't used a lot of them, but I thought this one looked really nice, and I think they looked really good with short hair, so I decided to stick with it. I did end up trying some hairs from Life and Death on them because I did kind of want to lean into the Life and Death pack for their clothing and a lot of their kind of look, just because I think it fits really well with Spooky Day and Halloween. And it is the most recent pack, and I think it is really nice. I actually really enjoy a lot of the CAS assets, especially from this pack. I have used them kind of a lot recently just because it's our most recent pack, but I still thought it was perfect for them, so I just went ahead and went with it. I also was initially going to do black and purple as the colors for this sim because those are my preferred Halloween colors. I actually really don't like the color orange that much. Um, it's it's honestly probably my least favorite color. I know I mentioned that I'm not a big fan of yellow, but orange is actually probably my least favorite. So I pretty much never use it. And it's fun. I think it turned out well. I feel like orange is like the most traditional Halloween color. So it was good to kind of lean into that. And this sim and the next sim, I kind of had in mind to go for like those tones. So I think they turned out really well. And I actually really like the pops of orange. There's a lot more orange than I guess I realized in a lot of the clothing just because it's not a color that I typically use. So Salem is probably my favorite sim in this video, which I guess makes sense. I feel like Halloween has such like a particular aesthetic that it was really easy. This was the sim in this video that I think I had the easiest time really leaning into the vibe that I had for them. I kind of struggled, I know I mentioned in the other part, with kind of picking up the right vibe for some of those sims, but like Salem's was really easy, like this cool, dark, androgynous vibe. It was perfect for them, so they were probably the easiest of these sims to make. And I guess while I'm finishing up Salem, I should say what these sims are all for. I do create a lot of sims, so they don't always have a purpose, but these particular sims are going to be in a tiny town. So I am going to be doing a holiday themed tiny town challenge. I've previously tried to do tiny town by Deligracy using the sims that she created, but it just, I don't know, I didn't have the connection with him that I wanted. I finished the first sim, which was Opal Gym, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to have my sims like that I created. So I decided to do it this way, and I decided to go with holidays because I am a holiday girly. So I thought it would be a lot of fun. So we are going to be starting at the top of the year, and I'm going to try to line up each of the sims with their holiday and their season. So we will be starting with Eve in the end of the winter. So it's actually going to be a pretty tough start because she is going to be starting in the winter. And like I said in that video, hers is probably one of the only skills I have set for sure. She's going to be wellness. I've been going back and forth a lot with what skills the other Sims should have. I definitely would love some feedback on that because I'm thinking that we're going to do writing for Salem, our Spooky Day Sim, just because, scary stories and she can be like a scary story writer. But I also consider doing that for Valentina because she could be a romance writer. So I'm really not sure. I would love some feedback for what y'all think. We have the first Sim to kind of get that figured out with. This Sim that I'm creating now, this is November, and he is our Harvestfest / Thanksgiving Sim, and his is also really easy. He is going to be our gardening Sim. I think it just makes the most sense for an activity for him. And when I was initially creating him, I think he was an adult. I wasn't going to have any elders in this little village, but I decided that pretty much in every one of these I've seen, there's been an elder, and I don't make a lot of elder Sims. So I figured I would go ahead and have an elder. So this is November, and I actually love him. I'm starting to think that I just love making like older male Sims. I just think they're so cute. And his style honestly ends up being so cute. He was also pretty easy to style. The only thing I struggled with is that I wanted him to have like dark, neutral, natural colors. So browns, burgundies, burnt oranges was kind of the vibe I had for him. But I think he ends up not wearing any sort of like orange at all. Even though I feel like those are good harvest colors, they just kind of weren't together. So he pretty much always wearing like burgundy and brown, which I love. I honestly love this color palette. And his looks came together really well. His formal wear is probably where I struggled the most. Just because at first I couldn't figure out what to do, but then I found that full body outfit and I thought, that looks good. Athletic was also interesting because when I think of athletic wear, a lot of times I put my Sims in like very young looking athletic wear, but growing together was actually really helpful for that and kind of giving a little bit more options for elder Sims, which I do appreciate. So I think I actually have this filtered to growing together just so that I could have good looks for him, and I felt like I had clothing that would fit. I did also want him to be stylish though. He doesn't look very gardeny, so I probably will need to add a secondary outfit for his everyday and probably cold weather that has a little bit more of a gardening vibe, because honestly he's kind of stylish, which honestly I love. I'm obsessed with the idea of him being like a super stylish Sim. So I love November. He's actually one of my favorites as well. This video probably has more of my favorite Sims, except for the last one, and it breaks my heart. But the last one is not one of my favorites, but we'll get to it when we get to her. So that's pretty much it. I'm actually almost done with November. He's pretty quick. In general, I feel like it's pretty easy for me to make masculine frame Sims because I don't have that much. I don't think about them as much. I know that sounds bad, but with feminine frame Sims, usually I have so much custom content, and even in the game, there's so much more content. So for the masculine frame Sims, it's a little bit easier. There's not as many options, not as much content, so it just makes creating them a little bit easier. Also, I guess I should talk about my 2025 goals since this is the first video of 2025. So 2024 was a pretty good year for my channel. I feel like I was pretty consistent. I kind of talked about that in the last part. So I figured in this part, I should talk about my goals for 2025. So for 2025, I want to try to continue to be consistent with posting. It is difficult. I mean, there are a lot of things in life that I kind of have to balance, but I do want to make sure that I am consistently posting. I want to find some series that I really feel attached to and that I can really love, and that way I know that I'll be able to post those. I've spent a lot of time kind of jumping on different series and creating content based on each individual pack, which I don't think is bad. I think it's good. The Sims 4 comes out with a lot of content, but I feel like I oftentimes just do not really fully engage with any of the content that's released. So I want to change that for this year. I want to really get into the content. I do have my New Horizons Let's Play that I'm really enjoying, and I think that's a series where I can really kind of play out those Sims and play out their lives. I have toyed around with the idea of having a rotational gameplay series. I feel like rotational gameplay has been pretty popular. A lot of like mega hood challenges and things are going around. But I also think that could be a lot of fun just because you create so many Sims and they're living in the background. And I do feel like the Sims are a lot more active about having lives in the background now. But I think it would be fun to just kind of let your Sims live a little bit and then you come back and see and you have to try to adjust their lives and you're going with that. I have considered doing my New Horizons series a little bit as rotational gameplay because I do love all those Sims. I've personally created most of the Sims in that save file, so I would be happy to kind of see all their lives play out. But I also have kind of rules that are designated otherwise, so I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what y'all's thoughts are on that. And what do you think about rotational gameplay? Have you ever tried it? Would you ever try it, or do you feel like it's a little bit too much, too complicated, like too involved for you? So those are pretty much my goals for 2025. Also getting to the EA Creator Network. I know I said it last time, but you know what? Might as well say it. Gotta send it out. We have to acknowledge what we want so that we can achieve it. As far as monetization, I'm not sure about that. I actually haven't decided for that yet, but I would definitely love to be in the EA Creator Network. I think I would also like to play more games, whether it's on the channel or just in my free time. I would like to play some more games this year. And then I was literally just talking to my husband. I need to listen to more music this year. I did like my Spotify rap and I just didn't have a lot of hours of music. So I need to have listen to more music this year, continue to work on my health journey and just being present in life. 2024 was definitely a year of lessons, and so I want 2025 to be a year of blessings. You know, it's a little cliche to say, but it's definitely kind of where my head is for this upcoming year. And I'm trying to go into this year with as positive an outlook on it as I possibly can. So while I've just been rambling about my 2025 goals, I've been creating our final sim, which this is our Winterfest / Christmas sim. And if you know me, you know that this is my favorite holiday, hands down, no question, and it's not even close. But I don't love this sim, and I don't know if it's because I recently made Mary, who's my holiday helper sim, and I was able to use custom content on her, and I just thought she was really cute. And I was trying to stop this sim from looking just like Mary, and so I don't know if that's the reason why I don't like her, because Mary is what I wanted the sim to look like. She also randomized in with this like wavy hair, which I thought was really cute because I didn't have anyone with it. But I don't know, something about it just was really throwing me off. I do end up changing it in the final version of this sim because I just couldn't quite love it. I also ended up using the same top for her that I used for Salem, but I just thought it looked so cute. It looks so much like a traditional elf top to me that I thought it was perfect. Also, these pajamas I thought were absolutely perfect. But I think one of my biggest struggles here is that red and green are not complementary colors. They're like the opposite. Like they're opposite colors on the color wheel, so they clash. Which is fine. You putting those colors together kind of it gives a very striking look. So red and green together are very striking, but it can be a bit much when the clothing is like the top is just red and the bottom is just green. So it can be a little bit hard to balance. And without custom content, there's really not a lot of things that blend those two colors together. And so I struggled a little bit here with Holly and figuring out how to incorporate both colors. And I felt like I'd used a lot of red in other Sims. So I wanted to lean more into the green for her. And then she does have red hair, which I know Mary does as well, but the red hair just makes sense to me because red and green. So I think she turned out cute. I'm not unhappy with how she turned out. I'm just not in love with her, which is what I wanted for my Christmas sim. I just wanted her to be kind of like everything I wanted, and she's just not quite. I also wanted to use these new sweaters since we just got them with the Cozy Celebrations event. And then, of course, I needed to use the scarf, which I was initially going to use in her every day, but it just didn't make sense. And I kind of struggled because the greens don't match here, and I couldn't decide if it was worth changing to white pants and just not wearing green pants, but I did just end up leaving her in the green pants. The colors don't go together, but sometimes you just kind of have to accept it with The Sims. Sometimes you just can't quite get the exact things that you're looking for. We don't have a color wheel, so we have to make it work. And honestly, this is going to be a wild take to end this video. I don't know if I missed the color wheel. I honestly, creating Sims in The Sims 3 used to be so stressful for me because I was such a color wheel girl that like it made it difficult. But you know, it is what it is. So that's pretty much it. We're just gonna go through and look at the final outfits for all of our Sims and check them all out. But thank you so much for joining me for our first video of 2025. I appreciate each and every one of you who's taken the time to watch my videos in 2024 and now in 2025. I hope that you are all happy, healthy, and having a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.